Hello, and welcome back to a very episode of a Pub in the Life. We're not in our favorite countryside, but we're still walking, which is amazing. Spring is here. Die, and I am sniffing everything. So, in today's podcast, a chat that Mom has had a couple of days ago with a very interesting professional who has made being the psychologist of a company in relation to social media its job. I don't know if he will be listening to this. He probably won't, but it's pretty important to share what this guy is all about, just to make you understand how far away usually we people, not just entrepreneur, but people in general, tend to think about companies and company life and objectives in standard prepackaged boxes and not making them their own. By the way, this is going to be, tail episode in which we talk about this encounter, and it's probably going to be just sharing, and hopefully it's going to give you some. It's pure diary, anyways. Hopefully, it's going to give you some info on which to work on. So basically, Mom meets this person online, just like most people these days. He works as a consultant in a solopreneurship type of practice. So he's basically doing all his things himself, and he is working with brands, and especially with fast-growing startups in the B2C space for specific types of products, especially, but not just only that. I will just leave it to that. But he was probably one of the people behind the success of at least a couple of brands that were very successful in the consumer space, especially for Gen Z and millennials. Millennials more than Gen Z. Vergola! Hi! Ciao! Feeling hot today. Hot meaning like very hot outside. I'm feeling hot always, as I'm the best dog ever. And so, the fact that one person just shared his profile, a person whom this guy has worked with on LinkedIn for Mom, was already enough to be interested. And so Mom got interested, and they started chatting. He accepted a call. Mom has had some health problems, and a series of difficult decisions to be made in her life that basically led this call to be pushed over and over and over. And they finally get to meet, and Mom gets to know exactly what the guy does, and understands how this can be applied to many of the businesses that Mom is working with, or maybe even partner of. So he presents himself saying, I'm not a marketing person. I come from the psychology space. I consider myself a psychologist. I probably am a psychologist in the company. And that's how I roll. And my job is probably going to company meetings and ask people, why? Yama! Why are we taking that decision? Why do we care about that metric? Why are we making such type of content? And what I do is I then analyze user behavior and try to understand how I can tweak it for it to be working better towards company goals. Now, this might sound quite obvious to you, but if you ask yourself, how many times have you asked yourself and tried to analyze why a post of yours went better than other posts. How many times have you given yourself an answer that then led to an action that potentially was changing the course of an editorial plan that you previously have? And this goes for all things in life, actually. It's not just this. Yeah, Ma! How many times have you found yourself that, a behavior that you had could potentially be changed by doing something else because you notice something in the way people reacted to that? And I'm sure these times are, if we were to ask this person, probably not enough. Otherwise, you would have a better strategy and you would grow faster. So the interesting thing is he basically framed it as, I asked them why. And you're usually caught up just doing over and over and over the same things, maybe for quantity, maybe because we think, actually, it's, mom thinks that quantity is actually probably what makes, the best, just because at some point you're going to get better or you're going to give up. But then, could it be better? Yes. And could this better be? Yamo! Could this better be doing better quality, or could potentially be being able to listen to actual people on social media? It might be the second, even though it's not ever something that you hear people talk about, like, oh my God, like I'm not able to scale my content or to be able to better my presence online or to make something better because I'm not able to listening to the qualitative feedback that I get. Because it's qualitative. It can be even 1 or 2 or 3 comments. It doesn't need to be 10, 15, 100. And then it's testing to replicate that same scheme over something else, which is not the type of content. It's not usually just a topic of the content. It's a part of the content that might just work better. So why is this all interesting? First off, Mom wants to work with the guy. She doesn't know when. She doesn't know how. But she's probably going to do it at some point. Second is, you're probably not putting enough effort on analyzing this specific part of what you're doing, which is the qualitative feedback of the people that surround you and touch you and can have opinions on what you do, because maybe you even ask them. If you post the content on social media, you're gonna ask people for feedback. That's why comments are there. That's why you ask for shares. That's, asking for interaction is basically asking for feedback. There's literally nothing else. So this was interesting for this reason. And hopefully this guy will get to work with a company that Mom is a partner in. And we might be able to tell you all about it. Not sure. But quite interesting. And hopefully it got you to think a bit about you, about how you approach these things, and how about the level of detail. And as always, there are levels. This podcast could be called There Are Levels, but that the level of detail that might be required is just even higher than what you were expecting, and that is totally okay. Is it necessary to hire this person? Probably not, but you shall do it yourself, at least in a tiny part, and in a part of maybe even answering to questions, and be able to know where your community, your people are standing from, and basically actually what they want to see from you, maybe. So yeah, this is all for today. We're probably heading back now. Sending you lots of kisses, hugs, and as always, a bit of barks.